friends, Cowboy Joe Boo here with the Joe Boo Report. And how are you guys doing today on this wonderful wild card weekend? The Dallas Cowboys are kicking back, waiting for the winner of the Green Bay Packer New York Giant game. So today, we're going to check in on game day morning and see what they have to say about the matchup, as well as a recap from yesterday's games. Let's roll the tape. Oh, and as always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Report. Roll the clip.
That Seattle goes to Atlanta next week, and the winner of today's game at Lambeau Field is the one that the Dallas Cowboys, coming off the bye, in the year of Dak / Romo, what will happen, what might not happen. It's the Giants and the Packers, holy crow. The winner of that going to Dallas next week. Steve Mariucci, what are you looking forward to seeing? Biggest takeaway that you had from yesterday?
And watching those games, you know, we talk about the Seahawks, and they're a good team, but not as good as they had been when they had those Super Bowl teams, right? One of the reasons is because of this new offensive line. It's the youngest offensive line and the lowest paid offensive line in the league. But you know what? Yesterday against the Lions, man, they pushed the Lions front around. Thomas Rawls had 161 yards rushing, a new playoff record for the Seahawks. And Tom Cable's offensive line really is getting pretty darn good and playoff ready.
Well, for me, in this quarterback-driven league, we always talk about, it's just funny that we get to the playoffs and it's all about the money now. And guess what we do? Teams that win, they run the football. Houston, Lamar Miller, 31 carries. The Seattle Seahawks, they go out with Thomas Rawls, 27 carries, 161 yards. Yes, you have to throw the ball, but you must control the clock and run the football. It's a constant, and we need to see that from the teams today as well.
And for me, the biggest takeaway is, will the real Brock Osweiler please stand up? I want to know, is it the guy we saw yesterday, confident, made throws, led this team to touchdowns? Is that the $72 million man, or what we saw all year long? And so now there's just more questions for me. I tip my hat to Brock. He showed up in the big moment. That's why they brought you here. Tough one next week, but now there's got to even be more questions in Houston on, okay, who is this guy and what do we have moving forward? But he stepped up in a big moment. I tip my hat to him, a friend of mine. I'm glad that he had that moment yesterday.
And for me, I think the biggest takeaway, I have to go to the defensive side of the ball and what Jadeveon Clowney was able to do. I feel like he asserted himself yesterday, and he really did a good job of going out and dominating the football game and, you know, making the game plan a lot easier for his secondary.
Certainly wait to see him and Watt together. Them going this direction together. That's going to be fun.
I don't know if that's going to happen how you think it's going to happen.
Well, you know, and it's funny you guys bring that up, because as I was watching the game, I did sort of tweet out about that, ask everybody to play GM. So what do you do with that $100 million J.J. Watt if your team got to the playoffs?
You just keep on.
Wait, listen, man. I'm engaged. No, I'm engaged.
You keep chopping wood with this J.J. Watt.
No. Wait, is that not a legit question? Sooner or later, one of the producers is going to put it on these scripts, and we're going to talk about it. I'm just ahead of the time, but it's coming. It is coming. Trust me, it's coming. Because it happened. You know what I mean? It happened. But listen, guys. I loved looking at Brock yesterday. That was, for me, the greatest part of it all. I started yesterday's show saying, can one big win erase one bad season, you know? And when we all saw him coming at just his highlights, we all started laughing because it was like, yeah, I told y'all I'm the man. And now y'all see it. And it's going to be amazing, man, because in this league, you're a hero or you're that other thing. It lasts 7 days long. We will see you next Sunday.
Right.
They got another shot at it. It lasts 7 days long.
And after I saw that Thomas Rawls had all those yards and a touchdown, and I remembered your bold prediction saying that every win would have at least a 100-yard rusher and a touchdown. And I looked, Lamar Miller had a touchdown when he was 27 yards shy. But Lamar Miller had a high-quality game.
Oakland did a great job against the run.
And I will also say this, too, just pounding the table a little bit from yesterday, before we get out there to Green Bay, is that the backup quarterback goes on historic run. It's just a rare story in the National Football League for a reason, which is why that guy right there should get in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in terms of journey traveled. Let's now go out to Green Bay. Kim Jones is there with the Giants for this big monster wild card Sunday finale. Kim, take it away.
It is is all of that, Rich Eisen. And for the New York Giants, a lot of today's game will come down to the running game, both sides of it. The Giants know they have to stop the run. Back in Week 5, they lost here and gave up a season-high 147 rushing yards, mostly to Eddie Lacy, now on IR. The running back for the Packers is Ty Montgomery, and Landon Collins says of him, you hit him. At the end of the day, he's a receiver, and receivers don't like to be touched. For the New York Giants, Paul Perkins has emerged since Week 5. The Giants, over their last 8 games, averaging 108 yards rushing per contest. Perkins had the first 100-yard rushing game for a Giants running back all season a week ago with 102 yards. He says, it doesn't mean anything if I don't back it up this week. Those are the words of the rookie, Paul Perkins. Now for the Packers side of things, here's Stacey Dales.
Hey, Kim, you know, it goes without saying it is cold here in Green Bay. I wouldn't mind crawling up into a little ball and hiding under this tarp. This thing's been heated since we arrived here on Friday. I'm going to take a look at my audio guy, Craig Ulrich, just to give you an idea. He is dressed for the season, my friends. Just to set the stage for these Green Bay Packers, they have been in playoff mode, 6-game win streak. I talked to Clay Matthews. Those were his words after their Detroit win last Sunday. He said, our urgency and expectation is greater than the playoffs. They want to get back to a Super Bowl. We heard Kim talk about Ty Montgomery with these Packers. Ball control. This game could be a game of keep away and will be impactful for Arron Rogers and company. They are tied for 5th in the NFL, Rich Eisen, in terms of time of possession. And call time of possession what you want. They have possessed the ball, and they want to keep it away from Eli Manning here today, Rich.
All right, Stacey, Kim, thanks very much. And it's cold in Pittsburgh as well. The question is, will Ladarius Green be warmed up enough coming out of the concussion